I'm Wendy, Colley, physical therapist. I work in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the famous steamboat, the Belle of Louisville. At times I also work in surrounding rural areas. Over the course of my career, I have engaged in advocacy and leadership in general, and also for specific areas that I feel are important for advancing the profession of physical therapy. Over the years, I have attended advocacy in Frankfort, Kentucky with students, clinicians, and faculty on Advocacy Day. Advocacy Day is a wonderful tradition in Kentucky for physical therapy, as it brings together students, clinicians, and faculty for an inspirational day where the students and other volunteers engage with legislators discussing important topics relevant to the profession of physical therapy. It is typically an inspirational day, like days volunteering for Fun Fitness at Eastern Kentucky University for the screening program for the Kentucky Special Olympics athletes. These are the days that I have felt the most inspired by the profession and community that I work in. During Advocacy Day, when it was held in Frankfort, Kentucky, attendees had a unique experience and legislators were inspired by the strong show of force for the profession at the Capitol. In the past, C.B. Embry Jr., a Kentucky state senator, who is also my husband's uncle, let me know that he was inspired by the volunteers from the physical therapy profession in Frankfort, Kentucky at the Capitol. Volunteers will also have opportunities to get involved in advocacy on the national level in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to speak specifically on current advocacy issues that the American Physical Therapy Association is working on at this time. There is an advocacy newsletter through the American Physical Therapy Association that I highly recommend that you read, as well as additional training available for advocacy. Instead, I would like to reflect on my own personal experiences in advocacy and leadership. I've had some wonderful experiences in advocacy as well as leadership for the profession. For the future, as the profession moves forward, there are some hard questions that we need to ask ourselves. We need to pay attention to advocacy and leadership as well as what is being said and done for the profession and how advocacy and leadership are representing you as physical therapists and assistants in your work for your patients. I believe the most important thing is for individual therapists that have specific concerns for their patients to be willing to step up in leadership and provide that piece of advocacy and leadership. When I think about leadership, I know in the past, I have looked to my professors and expected them to take on my burdens for my particular interests in the profession. What I have learned is that this is not really the professor's job. The professors that I admire greatly, that helped me in college, do deserve the appreciation and respect for a job well done, going the extra miles, helping students through to graduation. Beyond graduation, the roads we travel are different. Educators and clinicians may have different advocacy priorities. The advocacy issues that are important to faculty educators may not agree with my particular issues for advocacy and leadership in my area of work with my patients. It is my responsibility to speak up for my specific concerns for my patients. This is true of other advocates and leaders in the profession, including those from corporate backgrounds. Faculty educators wear many hats. They may have responsibilities over other program disciplines such as medical school, pharmacy, PA programs, and so on. Clinicians, who are leaders, may have specific interests for outpatient or issues that specifically impact the area of their work with patients. Some leaders may work in multidisciplinary environments that may be influenced by a broad range of healthcare concerns. Advocacy for physical therapy, when you look beneath the surface, becomes complicated. In addition, there are long-held beliefs that have been passed down in the profession as talking points that may no longer be valid for the fast-moving changes occurring in the profession. There may also be outside influences that may try to influence physical therapy advocacy, such as paid advocates that also work for other groups and may be perceived as using talking points that are more focused on advocating for other groups rather than actually advocating for the profession of physical therapy. There may be outside advisors that encourage the profession to think small and ask for only a small crumb of what is needed for the profession, rather than to ask for what your patients truly need for the future of physical therapy. It is important to pay attention to the words and actions of advocates and leaders, and to ask the questions that are difficult to ask, like this question.
The question is not whether an educator or a clinician is a better leader. The question is Is there conflict of interest in physical therapy leadership?